does set up a big game this weekend. Sydney FC, it's it's second versus third. How is the squad shaping up into that one, just in terms of fitness first up? Do you have a full squad available to choose from the non-long-term injuries?
Yeah, pretty much everyone's available, and Carly's probably under a little bit of we need to look after her, have a look today how she feels, and then we'll assess after training how her foot feels and whether she can take part for this weekend. But everyone else is feeling good, looking good, and really ready to go because it should be a great game at the new stadium. So we're looking forward to it. Another great challenge ahead.
Well, in terms of Sydney FC, they put 6 past your city rivals Melbourne Victory last time they went out. You'll have analysed that footage. What went right in that game, and what do you need to stop to prevent conceding similar?
Look, I think in transition they're one of the best teams, obviously with the firepower that they have up front and the speed, and they've got people that can score goals and that are dangerous, that can create goals. So we know their dangers, and we know what we need to do to try take that away from them, and we know where we can hurt them. So we've looked into it. It's we're just really looking forward to it. We know it's a big game in context of the season, and it's like you said, second versus third, 2 teams in good form, first time we meet this season. So we're all really looking forward to it. I think the girls, they can't wait to get to Sydney and for 220 to roll around tomorrow.
The win last week, I think that you're now 12 points clear of 5th place on the ladder with 7 games remaining on the season, which means that finals are increasingly looking like they're getting locked in. Does that affect how you'll manage the squad this season? Not so much in terms of what you ask them to do, but in terms of who plays, load management, that type of thing?
Look, I think that's always the case, but without looking at the top 4 or top 5, or so always we want to look after the players. If someone's got a niggle and they're struggling, we want to take care of them and limit their minutes if that's the case. But it's always it's business as usual for us. We said at the start, we want to go for all trophies available, and that's why we play football. No one goes out on the weekend and says, "Oh, we're happy if we don't get beaten too much, or we're happy with a draw." Everyone plays to win. Everyone wants to win, and that's why they're professional athletes, because of that mentality, and that's why they made it, to the pinnacle of the professional leagues in Australia, and then they go beyond as well. So, without that mentality, it's hard to make it. So, we have that. That's our mindset, that we want to win, and so we don't look too much about that top 4, because we want to always be dominant selves every weekend, and then if players need to be rested for injury sake or load sake, then we look to do that as well.
But you just did mention there about how you do try to dominate the ball and maintain possession, and coming up against sides that obviously really good in transition. They don't need a lot of the ball to actually hurt you and win football games. What sort of messaging do you adopt with the squad ahead of a contest like that?
So again, it's important where we want the ball. So I'm not a coach that looks at the end of the stats and goes, "Oh, we had 80% possession, but that 80% was our 2 centre backs and goalkeeper passing to each other." So that to me is useless. So it depends on where we have it. So to stop transitional teams, you need to play in their defensive third or in our attacking third. So that's the most important thing. That's where I want to play football. And then then we get everyone in, we pin them in, and then if they're reluctant to come back and they wait on that transition, then we overload them in that half, and we've got the more numbers, and then our attacking talent that we've got as well, and we push centre backs forward, we get our 6s forward, and then we really pin you in. So, but we know their threat. Like I said, we've got Courtney Vine, Abini, Matt Haley, then Hawkesby, Hunter from the middle. So it is a lot of quality in that team, and they've been towards the top of the table. We had challenges with them last year, some great games, and in that epic semi-final where, at last minute we concede an equaliser, and then again the second red card, and so there's a bit of history there for the girls that were here, but again, new season, new challenge, and again, like I said, everyone's really looking forward to it.
You just piqued my interest there. You mentioned you don't look at the possession stats and say you've had a good game based on that. Are there any stats, advanced regular stats, that you do look at as sort of reflective of if you're hitting certain marks, your team is playing well, goal shots inside the box, possession in the final third, anything like that?
I think there's a couple of those. It's the obviously that possession in the final third. So the longer we keep it there, then obviously then we take away any sort of transition, because that's something that we've worked on where we get our control set, and then obviously how many chances can we create? How threatening are we? So and then also on the defensive side. So even though we play that sort of style, people probably think that I'm ultra attacking, but I take defensive very very seriously. So it's been very pleasing that we've had many clean sheets. We've got close to the best defence in the league, and how we play. Where at times we have our centre backs about 70 metres from their goal, shows that. But there's a purpose to everything. So defensively we take that also very seriously. But we sort of defend on the front foot with the ball. When we have the ball, then we nullify that transition. But with the quality that opposition teams have, it's hard to keep that quiet for 90 minutes. So we work on how we adjust if that does happen, and then it's all about executing. If we execute the plan, then again we give ourselves a great chance to get the maximum points.
And we saw the Matilda squad announced yesterday. Unfortunately, none of your side were called up, but that means that they will all be here. Will they all be here now in Melbourne during the February window, so you can do a bit of a training camp? Do they get some time off? What's your plans?
We'll have a few days off after the Western United game, so just to let them recover a bit just before we go into that final phase of the season. We'll lose the two New Zealand girls. We'll lose a few to the young Matildas, so we will be about 5 to 6 players lighter in the team. So, but look, it gives us a chance again to work on a few things, work with individuals, continue their development as individuals, as a team, and we've got a friendly against the young Matildas lined up as well in that time. So, some good stuff to happen, and just a chance for us to, load them back up, and then also just to deload them before we head back into the games. And I think, it's sometimes it's nice to have that break, but I think players, they just want to keep playing, keep competing, and keep challenging for titles, which is what we're after.
So you're definitely losing 5 players to the young Matilda squad during that window?
No, I think all up, I think it'll be three to the young Matildas and 2 to New Zealand. So.
I see. That's the way the math works. Awesome. And just last one, mate. Ali McNamara, how's she plugging along? Is she still on track to return post window?
Yes. So she'll see minutes in that friendly game, and then we'll probably have some kind of internal game after. And yes, she's been green lighted to take part in those games. Minutes we'll see once we get closer, but the good news is that she's been given the green light that she can now. She started now full contact, and she looks really really good. It's not just exciting for us; it's exciting, I think, for the whole league, because she is one of those people that brings people to the stadium, gets you off your seat, and she's looking really good. And I think it's not just me asking the question. I think the ladies in the team are also asking, when can we unleash Holly? So She's working hard. I think she's itching to get back. She wants to put her name up for World Cup selection, and the way she's looking, I think she's gonna really make people take notice, and the national team as well. So, but again, we need to look after her. She's had a long time off with the ACL, and we won't be silly. We'll take on all the medical advice, and we'll see how she is. But young player, she can't wait to get out there, and she's almost asking, can we push it a little bit earlier? And so. And we look after her, but she's just got that fire inside of her, and it's beautiful to see.